exactly that you're doing with the car? Is it part of the development? Is it, you know?
Well, again, small team, so you do wear many hats, but my title is Production Director, so I'm in charge of the factory there, the production line, the mechanics. We've got a carbon fibre department, you know, we build our own engines, so, you know, supply chains. I'm really the guy that organises the builds.
And how big is the team out there?
The team there's 30 of us in total.
Okay.
So, yeah, the carbon department's our biggest department.
Right,
so,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
the car is just
everything
carbon.
on the car is carbon, so everything you see is, everything's done in-house in Denmark, obviously apart from the iPad, which, you know, being a track-focused car in the original design brief, it was the easiest solution for us. I actually like it, and you can't beat, you know, Apple Maps, for instance. It's perfect,
Well,
you know, Waze or anything like that.
In a Tesla, they've got. It's basically
it does,
having a Tesla.
It does work, yeah.
It does,
work.
and I think it's a really clever idea, and I'm amazed that no one else has done it before. If I'm totally honest with you. Okay, so talk me through the specs of the car in terms of the engine, what's, you know, the outputs, etc.
Yeah, so it's a 5.8 litre V8 twin supercharged. It's a pushrod V8, and it's assembled in-house, so it's our own crank, our own pistons, conrods, you know, our own cylinder heads. So it's something that's been going on. Again, the company's been formed 12 years. It's ongoing development, and it's a real robust solution now. So 1177 horsepower and 1200 newton meters of torque. So yeah, when you need to go, it goes.
Oh, I bet it does. And is that, as you said earlier to me, it's quite linear, so
it's very linear power delivery. So
so it's not terrifying.
Everybody thinks that almost 1200 horsepower is going to be harsh and vicious. Not at all. You know, that's a turbo car where it's all or nothing. This, you know, we're driving now like an everyday car. So as far as hypercars go, I'm really proud of, you know,
the usability
where we're at, because this doesn't drive like your usual hypercar, which is, you know, chopping and changing and bumpy, and, you know, I've been driving this now almost a month to and from events, and, you know, I drive this. I only recently drove it down south 3 hours.
Really?
Fine, you know.
So it wasn't transported to Capital Machine today.
I drive it everywhere, which again is just to show that proof to people that, look, guys, you know, you can use it. Ultimately, customers want to use their cars.
Is it a single clutch?
It's a single clutch, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really smooth.
It is, yeah.
It's
So
really
bearing in mind, it's a dog box, so it is a motorsport gearbox,
Yep.
which everyone thinks, oh, you know, we're the only people using that. Well, we're the only people using it as a paddle on the road, and like this, you know, we're Euro 6 approved, full TUV approved as well, and it drives like a single clutch gearbox. But then when you're sort of pushing on and full throttle, you'll really understand the ethos and why we've done what we did.
So to be able to make it, as you were just saying there, to be able to make it usable as well as then exciting when you're up it, must be, you know, extremely difficult to do.
That's the hardest bit. The engine's the easy bit, it's the gearbox which is the hard bit. So as I'll demonstrate now with full shift, you won't get anything in the world that shifts as fast as that. And that is the whole reason why we did it. You know, Trolls, our founder, you know, I really love his ethos. It was, no, I'm not going to sacrifice gear shift speed for you know, a little bit of drivability. We have to get it instant and right. And you know, I think we're there.
That is unbelievable.
And that's only in road. That's only in road mode.
That's the coolest gear shift I've ever experienced, I have to say. I suppose the only thing I've driven with a single clutch gearbox like this is a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ or something.
Yeah, you are. That's where we're at. We're kind of at that, but we're a dog box, so the upshift is instant.
Way more exciting.
Yeah, it's instant. So
you don't get that feeling of someone putting the foot on the clutch and then receiving another gear.
Yeah, because when you're on upshifts, flat upshifts, there is no clutch.
Yeah.
It's just gear cut.
Bangs it in.
It's just gear cut, bangs it in.
And spits a flame at the sound of it.
Spits an enormous flame. Yeah, when the sun's down, you can see the flames in the mirror.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, wicked. So it's that whole thing of that, you know, with cars like this is an emotive car.
Yeah.
You do not buy one of these because you need one, as you say. You buy one because you want one.
It's an it's an emotional purchase.
Absolutely. And to try and you know,
It's taken me a month to drive like this because every time you do a gear shift like that, you just want more.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like the time you first bought a turbo car and you had a dump valve.
Yeah.
And you're driving everywhere in fifth,
Yeah.
you know, first to fifth,
Yeah.
just to get gear shifts to hear the dump valve. This is the same with that exhaust pop, you know. So.
Okay, talk me through traction control on this.
Yeah.
So you must have, obviously, with the amount of power it's got, the 1177, you've got to have quite a...
It is. So we have our e-diff. It's our own in-house developed e-diff as well.
Yep.
So that is mated up to a Chima gearbox casing, but it's our own internals.
Okay.
So again, all the gearbox control, the GCUs, even the ECUs are all our own.
Okay.
The software, everything, which when you think of it, you think, Christ, that is, you know, even when I first joined, you know, why? But now we're at a solution, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
You know, we can control hybrid drive in the future.
Yeah, of course.
Electric cars, we can do anything. The rear wing is all our own control. Gearbox shift system is all our own control, because in the early days we weren't getting the support from outsourced suppliers, so we just took it in-house.
Yeah, okay.
And that's kind of the ethos with the company. Our carbon finish is one of the best.
It is. I've looked around the car, and I will put some beautiful shots up of it, and it is, I have to say, every single weave seems to be in exactly the position you wanted it to be. Okay, so let's talk about the thing that everyone wants to know about with this car, the wing.
The wing, yes.
So talk me through it. I mean, is it working on road? Is it working just on track? Is it working through G-force? Is it working through steering angle?
It is. There's a few things. So there's G-force, speed.
Yep.
Originally the wing was working at any speed, but it's, as you know, aero doesn't really work under 60 mile an hour. So we've upped that. It's done on G steering angle, individual wheel speed, and not only is it for cornering, we obviously have the air brake. But there's also, as you're accelerating, it just gives a little bit more downforce to the rear to give you some grip. So if we accelerate now, the wing will actually go into a pitched angle to give us some more downforce to the rear wheels when accelerating. So there's an algorithm in the ECU which knows the correct position to be. It works all the time in brake and acceleration, but to get it working tilting on the road, you have to be pushing on.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't do that everywhere.
How many are you going to be making?
15 TSR-S's.
Okay.
And then we go on to the next generation so this is the last generation of this chassis and this kind of this style. If you notice, this style goes backdated to the early ST1, which was a supercharged and turboed car.
Yes. Okay.
The next future model will be, you know, our own carbon monocoque hybrid.
I was going to say,
that's happening now. We never go fully electric because, well, why would you? You get pops and bangs.
Is there a wait list for one at the moment, or are you good for this year?
Yeah, there is. Well, that's the thing. COVID. There's 2 cars in build at the minute. They're bare carbon cars at the second. One is sold. The other one we're waiting. So yeah, if someone ordered one today, there would probably be a 6 month lead time on that.
Okay.
Because I have dreams about taking this over the Alps.
Yeah.
That's just perfect for this thing, especially on song and.
God.
You know, I even get giddy thinking about it now. So yeah, again, it can be, and we will support customers on track. So it's a case of, we'll try and plan events for them, but it might be a case of someone says, I want to go here. Oh, great, we'll bring our development car and go do some testing as well. So, if someone has issues, or we call flying doctors at the minute, I'm the only flying doctor, but I'll gladly fly out to someone's house wherever in the world and be like, no, what is your problem if there is a problem? You know,
you're going to know every single person that buys one of these by first name.
That's it. That is exactly it. It's the same when I was at Noble. You know, 30 customer cars, knew them all. I really do think our solution is that, or one of the only masculine, old school driver's hypercars. You know, yes, there is TC. We were talking about TC. Your question earlier, I didn't really answer it. You know, there's ESP and there's TC, and it will save you. Like, I can get broadsiders at a roundabout drifting. It'll allow me to drift, but if I go too far, it'll just dumb it down. It'll bring the car straight.
And is it your own in-house TC?
It is, yeah. So again, I struggled with the Noble because that was on no-tech. We had to develop everything, and that was more of a cut. This is a driver's aid. You know, it's an aid, and again, I can turn it off.
It's a safety net, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just usable. You know, I rarely turn it off.
Honestly, I cannot tell you how impressed I am with just the ease of using it on the road.
Yeah.
It's It's not
we'll
noisy, I'm not shouting, I'm not...
So like race mode dash, it changes the display, you get more of a race orientation, so the gear position, so it blips a little bit more on the downshift. You get some flames, and then the upshift is...
That is the best upshift noise of any car I've ever heard. That's, oh my god.
So yeah, you even get flames on the downshift.
That's outrageous. That is outrageous.
Yeah.
And I mean, I mean, I'm assuming that was sort of not in full throttle.
No, so we're only in IQ mode at the minute. So IQ, we've got 2 power settings on the engine.
Okay.
You've got max power, which is obviously all max power whenever. And you've got IQ, which the ECU is sensing the amount of wheel slip.
Okay.
So if it detects a bit of wheel slip, it'll just back off the power a little bit, talk to the TC to see if it's cutting in or not. And then as you accelerate each time, if it detects no wheel slip, it just bleeds in a little bit more power each time. So I drive everywhere in IQ, because if I want to go full throttle, trust me, it's going to go anyway. But if I was racing, you know, if I was on track, I'd be in max power mode. If it was raining, I'd be in IQ.
Okay.
And then you've got two modes for the engine, and then 2 modes for the gearbox. So you've got road and then race.
And can you dial it so that it's in one and not the other?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you can have max power road gearbox.
Yep.
And you can also have IQ race gearbox, which is what we did back then.
Okay.
But as I say, that's why I enjoy showing people driving like this, because they're like, oh, it actually drives really well.
It does. It does. I mean, this is. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. We are on quite a smooth, lovely piece of road.
Of course, yeah.
But it's not, you know, and it's quite a big car. It's quite a wide car.
It is. So it's 2.05 meters wide, which is wider than probably the widest car. But it's hydraulic steering. It doesn't feel like it's a heavy car.
Yeah.
You know, I'm turning and it turns.
And how heavy is the car?
The car is 1450 kilos. We've had development cars at 1500 horsepower.
But do they then become unusable?
The problem is we're in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just about max power. We're about, you know, track focused and reward and fun.
Yeah.
So this is fun. I can drive this 110%.
Yeah.
And, you know, still live to tell the tale. And it's really, you know, you feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah,
you know, you get feedback from the car.
Yeah.
It's an extension of your body.
Yeah.
So similar to GT3 RS feel, but you've got 1200 horsepower. And you know, again, it's grippy. The rear squats and goes, and we've dialed it in, you know, a little bit of understeer because it's safe.
Yep.
So it's better to have a little bit of understeer than oversteer. Don't get me wrong. You know, you can promote a massive drift. You know, when you want to push on for the road, we've gone the other way just to dial a little bit of understeer.
Just so you're told when you're on the limit.
Exactly. It's user friendly.
Just back off a little bit.
And it works really well. It does work really well. Right, you're in gear already, so we just let the handbrake off, and you'll feel the throttle. It's okay.
Cool, that's actually really good.
Yeah, it is good. It's so wide,
it's wide
as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having another wing mirror.
So it's always in manual. So yeah. That's it.
Okay.
But it will shift down for you if you don't.
Okay.
Don't shift down.
Okay. So is there a way that you would drive it? Do you keep it at a certain amount of revs if you're driving it slowly? Do you keep it at a... So okay, it's gone down there. It doesn't mind being, you know, we're at 2,500
Yeah,
RPM.
so I mean, it will only shift up over 2.5 in seconds.
Okay.
So I tend to, I'm quite lazy, so I'll always shift up when I can. So like now, and then I'll actually go to 4th now, and I'll just cruise round like this. Normal driving, this is how I'll drive, and then it will shift down if it wants to, but keep it around 2, it'll maintain the same gear.
So yeah, I mean, literally at 2,500 RPM, it's super easy to drive. I mean, it's genuinely, it's no more intimidating. Oh, front end feels good. Yeah. It's no more intimidating to drive than any other supercar, really.
It doesn't.
A hypercar.
It doesn't feel like a 1,200 horsepower monster.
It doesn't. And okay, you could have had the throttle pedal way more aggressive, which would have made it way more difficult to drive at slow speeds. But it's actually, it's not. You know, you've got sort of this much travel before.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the, you know, the last sort of 3 years of development. You know, finding that sweet spot. So these are all the things that people don't think about. You know, it's not only just getting the engine to run right. It's driver feel. pedal feel, even brake feel.
I was going to say, what are the brakes on it?
So these are from Surface Transforms, the brake discs, so carbon.
Yeah.
And then we're using a Paget pad, which again, you know, we've tried the Brembos. You know, we went from Brembo originally.
Yeah.
These are just the technology involved in these is, you know, again, everyone's using these in the hypercar market now.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the same size Brembo disc, they run 150 degrees cooler. So that's actually, that heat is braking performance. So you could actually run a smaller disc, but who would? You know, you want more braking power.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The brake pedal is sharp.
Yeah.
But it's something you get used to.
Yeah, if you go down to third, and go to second as well, and then just floor it. Is that not...
Absolutely.
You know, does that not take
mental.
over your whole body?
That is mental. That is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it's...
That, honestly, I've never experienced something like that. It's so good.
Yeah.
That is so odd that it means that the engine isn't necessarily the most impressive part of it.
That's road mode, so do the same in race now.
Okay, so third gear.
That's it, then just go.
6,000 RPM. Honestly, that is, I'd go everywhere doing that. Off roundabouts, on everything, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What an awesome thing. And that's, but it is weird, so, because you're Euro 6, it's not as noisy as I was expecting. I'm sure there's an awful lot happening behind me.
There is a sports exhaust. This is the you know, the standard exhaust. There is a sports exhaust, which is very loud. I love it, but actually driving it every day, I like what we got, because we're talking in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it's louder than a Golf, but actually it's not that loud. You know, so you can have telephone calls in here. You're surprised, are you not?
Oh,
yeah.
More surprised that, you know, you turn up, you see this car, you think this is going to be so unbelievably compromised. You think it's going to be terrifying to jump in and drive.
Yeah, low volume, sports car, you know.
I have never driven this car, and I've just got in it, and I don't feel like I'm intimidated. If you said to me, I need you to drive into Edinburgh now, I wouldn't think, do you know what, oh, that's terrifying.
A lot to feel, you know, when you accelerated then, you know, you felt the grip, you felt the rear load up, you got the wing acting as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it just gives you that, it's all about feel.
There is a little bit of inertia when you first put your foot on the accelerator as well. We're only at 2,500 RPM when I do that. Yeah. But it gets you almost ready for what's about to unleash.
And that's it, you know, it's that simple. The higher you rev it, the faster you go.
Well, absolutely. And genuinely, I mean, we got 6,000 RPM on one of them, 6.5. Is the red line, where is it? About 8? Or is it 7.5?
7.5, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's just so special. That's
as I say, you're driving now in race mode on the gearbox, and, you know...
There's no clunking. The best way I can describe it is if you drive, or if you ride a motorbike that is, you know, a big V-twin or something like that, at low speed.
I race in the Ducati Cup, you see.
Well, there you go. So,
I know what you mean.
So, do you know what I mean? When you're doing 20 miles an hour on one of those, in first gear, and you got that, it's like, oh my god, we're going to, and you need to actually be way up there.
You almost slip in the clutch through town at 30.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly. Whereas this isn't like that. Which I thought it would be. I thought the throttle would be aggressive and almost not undrivable, but at, you know, we're in KPH here, but at 50 mile an hour, I thought we were going to be just like, It doesn't feel enormous either, because I can see both front wings. You can really place it on the road. And I don't have to worry about what's behind me.
It's a wide car. It's, you know, it is a big car, but it doesn't feel big. It feels agile, like you said with the steering. You love the steering. Yeah. Great feel. You know, really good feel.
It does. The rack isn't as fast as I was expecting it to be.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be quicker. Maybe that's because, you know, Ferraris at the moment and things like that are so quick.
Is that because the car you've got out of? You're doing that like for like comparison.
Exactly. It feels like you have to be positive with it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a bit more input.
Yeah.
But again.
But there's lovely feel at the front end.
I like that, because you almost then you know where you are.
Yeah.
You don't. There's no false. You know, you're not getting a false sense of security. Like, oh, where am I turning?
It feels mega. It feels very. Oh my god. That is amazing, and I love the fact as well with the driving position. It's all about me.
Yeah.
it's all about me. Everything's pointing towards me.
Definitely, that's it.
And I know there's that whole cockpit thing that everyone's going for, but it's genuinely like that. And these seats, you say there is a comfort seat. I don't think these are uncomfortable. If you go a little bit quicker, it seems to be really beautifully damped on these roads as well. So you know, there's been that often shows an expensive suspension when you get quicker and it gets better. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's, it's a hypercar. It can be a bit crashy around town, but then.
Well, again, KWs, you know, we use their shaker rig. Really good relationship with them. We've actually softened up the damping for the UK roads because in Denmark we're really spoiled. It is a track car that you can drive to the track, do your track day, annihilate everything there, just drive home. You know,
absolutely.
That's what we were aiming for.
So you just say about the wing. You can have the wing in different modes, etc. With the wing, would you? This sounds absurd because of course you won't be able to, but I have to ask the question. You'd never feel the difference, would you?
On track. Okay. You will. So at Spa, we did a good day at Spa.
I bet that's good through Rouge.
I annihilated everything there. You know, yeah, it was great. So you can. The wing in full angle of attack, it gives you 75 kilos of force towards the inside, the apex of the corner. Okay. So that's 75 kilos of sideways force on the car, pushing the car towards the inside of the corner.
Wow. With the wing, I mean, it's even though it's a party piece, it's also,
it's a USP.
It's also super cool.
It wouldn't be on there if it didn't do anything.
Well,
so overall,
that's great.
if you group it overall, it's 12% increase over just the fix we can go for it. So ultimately, if you have 12% is a lot, so we'll have it. So.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! That is alarming. And it's. Oh my word! The downshifts are just as good.
Yes, yeah.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, that's some flames. That's some flames.
Honestly, that is so brilliantly done. Like that is so special. So special.
And then you just pull the key out.
Where's the key? There. That's super cool as well.
That's it.
Mate, thanks very much for that.
Really glad you enjoyed it.
Wicked.
Yeah.